Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Numerica, there lived a superhero named Professor Algebra. By day, Professor Algebra was a kind and brilliant math teacher at the local school. But by night, he transformed into the city's most powerful math superhero, known for solving the toughest problems and saving the day with his mathematical skills. Numerica had always been a place where math problems seemed to pop up everywhere. From multiplying the number of apples in a fruit stand to dividing pizza slices fairly among friends, math was a part of daily life. But sometimes, tricky problems would arise that no one seemed to be able to solve. One day, a mysterious villain named Chaos Calculator arrived in Numerica. Chaos Calculator had the power to scramble numbers and make calculations go haywire. He wanted to make Numerica a place where math was impossible to understand. He began his evil plan by turning all the school's math problems into giant, swirling, confusing equations. The next morning, as the students of Numerica School arrived for their math class, they were shocked to find that their math problems had turned into enormous, tangled messes. Addition problems had become subtraction puzzles, and multiplication questions were now division conundrums. The students were very worried and didn't know what to do. But never fear, Professor Algebra was here. As soon as he saw the chaos, he knew he had to act quickly. He put on his superhero cape, which was decorated with numbers and symbols, and flew into action. With his trusty mathematic calculator and his power of patterns, Professor Algebra approached the first tangled problem. He examined the numbers and symbols and used his knowledge of math to carefully untangle the mess. "Aha," he said, as he spotted a pattern. "This problem can be solved by simplifying the equation step by step." As he worked, Professor Algebra explained his methods to the students. "Look, everyone, when we break down the problem and solve each part, it becomes much easier to handle." The students watched in awe as Professor Algebra used his math skills to unravel the problems one by one. With each problem he solved, he restored order and clarity. The students began to understand how they could approach the tangled equations on their own. Chaos Calculator, who was watching from the shadows, grew more and more frustrated. He tried to make things even more complicated, but Professor Algebra was always one step ahead. Using his super problem-solving powers and his amazing arithmetic abilities, Professor Algebra turned every challenge into an opportunity for learning. After a long day of battling confusing equations, Professor Algebra finally confronted Chaos Calculator. "It's time to end this chaos," he declared. With a powerful mathematical formula, he restored balance to the city and sent Chaos Calculator back to where he came from. The students cheered as their math problems turned back into simple, understandable questions. Thanks to Professor Algebra, Numerica was saved, and everyone learned that math, no matter how complicated it seemed, could always be understood with a little patience and practice. From that day on, the students of Numerica felt confident about their math skills. They knew that whenever they faced a tricky problem, they could remember Professor Algebra's lessons and tackle any challenge with a positive attitude. And so, Professor Algebra flew off into the sunset, ready to return to his teaching job and keep an eye on Numerica, always prepared to solve any mathematical mystery that might come their way.